Hey, what's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to Auto Transport Intel. This is a big show. This is a milestone for me and Auto Transport Intel, maybe the auto transport industry. You know, I started dispatching in 2012, and 4 years later, I was burnout. I started this channel in 2017, and to shed light on the daily frustrations of hands-on cubicle automotive logistics and booking loads for carriers from load boards. To describe what it's like to book loads, I made videos. To train other dispatchers on what I had learned, I made videos. And to show some technologies that needed more help than others, I made videos. So now, to help bring the verticals together, dealers, auctions, carriers, dispatchers, brokers, and services, I make videos. So tonight we have Jason Walker, COO of United Road, Ray Moran, Director of Operations, to talk about Holly and what it takes to be an elite carrier. And that is a big deal. And after that, we've got consumer driveway inventory with Paul Machin of Black Book and Nick and Jamie of VETTX. So please join the live chat. Ask your questions, grow your business, share your thoughts. It's Tuesday nights live on Auto Transport Intel. I'm Jay, your host. Welcome back to the show. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Auto Transport Intel. It is Tuesday nights live, and thank you guys so much for coming back. I do appreciate it. Welcome back. Listen, if this is your first time here, I want you to feel welcome, all right? You can ask anything you want. This is Auto Transport Intel. All verticals are welcome. There are no stupid questions. Just put it in the live chat, and if you missed this show, put it in the comments below, but you are welcome here. And I'm going to say hello to the live chat. You know the drill. I'm going to go in a few minutes. I'm going to go into the live chat and say hello. So feel free to share your company information, product, services, good news. You can share links, phone numbers, emails, make a friend, network. That's what we do here. And at the quarter hour, I'm going to go into industry news. This might be my favorite segment before the interview, where we do national news, social media news, what's being talked about, front of the store, back of the store, transport tech, shipping trends, new technologies, vehicle logistics, etc. Then, as I said, this is a big show. United Road, Holly.com, is on the show. Jason Walker, he's the COO of United Road. We've talked a couple times. I'm excited to have Jason live on the show. And then Ray Moran, Director of Operations, who's going to be in a panel Thursday that I'm moderating. They are the feature segment. We're going to talk about Holly.com, we're going to talk about Holly Pro, and we're going to talk about carrier awards. So this is cool. Technology and carriers, that's big stuff. But you're going to want to stick around, because at the 80-minute mark, so it's 8 o'clock, it's 8:05 Central Time right now, in an hour, 20 minutes, Seems like a long time away from now, but man, this show goes fast. This is Automotive Late Night. We have consumer driveway inventory with Paul from Black Book and Nick and Jamie from VETTX. You know it's a live show. You know I gotta screw something up. So hopefully I got it out of the way. From VETTX. That's VETTX.io. So you can check that out now. So here's what we're going to do. By the way, let me know. Mic check 1, 2, 3. Is the audio and the video okay? Can you see me okay? Can you hear me okay? Am I too loud? Am I buzzing? Am I distorted? Yeah. So let's do this. I'm going to cut right after this. We're going to go into the live chat. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss it.
Are you completely stressed out? Yahoo.com. Give us a call today.
That's the voice of Sue. She is the dispatch office manager at Murphy Auto Transport, Murphy Auto Logistics. You'll see the email, you'll see the website in the live chat. There's also a phone number just went in there. So if you're looking for a dispatch team, a dispatch office, dispatch manager, she's even a fully licensed broker. She wants to help you. She's my co-host on Thursdays on Dispatching Live. So please reach out if you have any questions. Let us know. It is time to go into the live chat, and I gotta tell you, not only do I need to rewind this and go to the beginning, feeling the pressure, and it's exciting. It's good, it's good pressure. It's really quite wonderful, and so it's great to see everybody piling into the live chat. It's very exciting. And Kimberly is in here first. Welcome to Tuesday Nights Live with your host Jay. Please join the live chat by saying hi, ask your questions, promote your business and network. We're glad you're here. We're so glad you're here. Thank you so much. In fact, Glenn Moore is here from United Road. Thank you so much, Glenn, for tuning in and saying hello. Ray Moran. Hey, this is Ray with United Road. Excited for the show tonight. Silver Mint from Fast ATI Transport says hello. What's going on? Finest Towing and Recovery. John is here. What's going on, John? Hello. Thanks for tuning in. Lloyd Vanover, hello to everyone. Thank you for doing this. Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you so much for tuning in and saying hello and ringing the bell. I really do appreciate it. I'm signed up waiting for my email. Oh, awesome. That is super cool. Wow. Already getting signed up. People are already getting signed up. I see that. Wow. Joel Hawk. Hello from St. Louis. Who needs a drive-through Black Widow? That's right, Joel. We should talk about Black Widow sometime. You can feel free to share the link in the live chat. Super cool. And I'm just going to say this because I see it right now on the... Thank you, Ty. Ty is ringing the cab bell, ringing the service bell, and with a super chat with his diamond hands. Thank you so much, Ty. Thank you, buddy. Cars on the Move. What's really neat, and Ty, you know this too, is that what's happening on Cars on the Move. Oh, I knew I forgot something. There was on Friday, we had Nathaniel from ASAP Transport Solutions on Cars on the Move, and I forgot to include that in industry news. Dude, ASAP Transport Solutions on Friday on Cars on the Move. That was such a great show. So thank you, Ty. Thank you so much for ringing the cowbell with your super chat. Carlos Braxton. Hey, what's up, Carlos? ACB Logistics in the house. Mark Grodicke, SuperFlo Systems in the house. D&W Logistics is in the house. Ron Lorenzana's in the house. Truckify's in the house. What's up, you guys? Kathy McDaniel from United Road. What's up, Kathy? Thank you so much for your help in putting together this show. Marketing information. I really do appreciate it, because without great information, what do you have? I don't know. I don't know what there is. Bobby Frazier says, yo, what's up, Bobby Frazier? Jay Wilson from JRW Prime Transport is here. What's going on? BM says hello. What's up, BM? Now, BM, Carlos, Jay Wilson, I see you guys in the other shows during the week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and saying hello. Wow. Hernando Lancheros, longtime listener, first-time caller. VL Auto Transport, Inc. Great. Thanks for sharing it. Thanks for saying hello. That's cool. Paul Machin is here from Black Book. What's going on, Paul? Unildo Jimenez, JCC Transportation Services Corp. is in the house. Henry Mkhitaryan. Hey, guys. Talavi Services, Inc. Great, man. This is great. Mike Pagano, Assertus is in the house. What's up, Mike? You see on Hello Live Chat. I mean, it is Shout Out City, and it's great. It's great to see you. It's great to hear from you. You know, and to try to build up. You guys know I send out the email blast. Then we've got the LinkedIn posts, and all to bring it here. Because really, you know what? This is what I said on the LinkedIn post is, if I gave you the microphone, what question would you ask? What would you ask? What questions do you have for United Road, for Holly, about their carrier awards, their elite programs? You know, they've got another half hour to wait in the wings behind the curtain. So as we keep ramping up, I want you to ask if you have a question. And maybe there's something you've seen somewhere else that made you think something, want to know something, because that is the whole point of social media, is we can actually engage. And you know, it's not lost on me. So if you go to the live show, right? You go to the live shows, the big trade shows, right? You spent all the money, you got the flights, you packed your bags, and you dry cleaned your suits, and you're all ready to go. And you get there, and then, you know, it's one face at a time. You got 5 seconds to ask a question, and then, you know, now you got salad on you, and the hummus fell on your sleeve, and you never get to ask your question. Well, here, you don't have to worry about that. You could have hummus all over your sleeve. It's okay. Ask your question, post in the live chat at any point during the show, because we really do want to interact, connect. And that's one of the reasons it is a long show, so you have time to think about these things. Maybe you come back. Maybe you go get a plate of nachos. What's he talking about? That's the thing about this show, is we're mixing auto transport information with the comfort of your own home or your truck. Maybe are you relaxed? Look at that. Look at that. Ron. It's like the Hunchback of Notre Dame running around right here. Ron is in here ringing the cowbell. Here's to the ecosystem. Ron, thank you so much, buddy. You know, Ron knows how important this is to me and how hard I've worked on this. And many of you guys know this. And then there's if you're just learning about Auto Transport Intel and joining and seeing it and you're feeling it, you're like, you know what, this is working for me, because we needed a regular, like a weekly dose, right? Because a trade show biannually that may be cost prohibitive, time prohibitive, it doesn't work for everybody. So here we are, right? We all know we're used to Zoom. How many Zoom meetings have you had today? I've already had 2. So this would be the 3rd, right? How many Zoom meetings have you had today? Or if this is your first, well, hopefully it's the best. But Ron, thank you for your support of the channel. Lionel Yates, I'd like to know, here we go. I'd like to know their projections on inventory going into the warm season. Nice. I like that. Now that's a good question, Lionel. I'm going to make a note of that. Projections. We're going to take notes. See, I'm taking notes. I got them right here. I got my notes right here. And if you want to get on the notes list, do it. Put it in there. Nice, Ron. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Lionel. And thank you, Ty, so much. Really appreciate you guys. Okay, that's it. By the way, did it get loud? Check, check. Mike. It looks a little loud. The mic looks a little hot. Where's Fritz? Fritz is like, turn down the gain, man. Okay. It's 8:15. It's time. We gotta go. We gotta go to the next thing. We got industry news coming up. You're not gonna want to miss it. Stick around. We're gonna be right back.
SuperFlo Systems is excited to introduce DispatchCenter.com, a full-service load board for brokers, shippers, carriers, and drivers, featuring integrations with Truckify mobile app and iTruckPay. Use Route Scout technology to build your routes. Maximize truck capacity. Stay loaded at the highest available revenue with the least amount of driving miles. Tell us your lanes. Loadification will alert you to new loads posting in your route. Views instant load notifications sent with Book Now features. Search and book loads directly through the Truckify mobile app. Brokers and shippers post your loads to Dispatch Center. Give authorized carriers the opportunity to instantly book your loads. Dispatch Center powers the Truckify mobile app, allowing instant load assignment to the driver. Truckify will send inspection reports, geolocated pickup and delivery photos, BOLs, and invoices back to the broker. Brokers, shippers, carriers, and drivers, Dispatch Center, and Truckify have what you need to be more profitable every day.
Mark is in the live chat. SuperFlo Systems, Dispatch Center. Your links are right there. Go to superflowsystems.com. Go to dispatchcenter.com. info@superflowsystems.com. And Mark is in the live chat, and he wants to answer your questions. And there you go. Look at that. And here, hey, and Kathy's got a phone number for Holly. See? I'm telling you right now, if you got a phone number, email address, company information to share, do it in the live chat. Look at that. Look at that. Thank you so much, Mark, my buddy, my man. The ATI channel is the place. It really is. And that's what's great. Well, thank you very much. One of the things I really like about Auto Transport Intel, it's not exclusive, because we're in this is a huge industry, multi-billion dollar industry. We got a lot of companies. Man, think of all the carriers and the brokers and the dealers, technology companies, etc. There's so many companies, so I want you here. I want you to say hello. I want you to feel welcome. This is Auto Transport Intel. Thank you so much, Mark, for what you do and your contribution. Man, it means so much. Let's get to it. This is show 181 in a row on a Tuesday night. It's United Road with Holly.com. We've got Jason Walker, COO, and Ray Moran, Director of Operations. You know you can go to Holly.com. You want to talk to Holly? There's the phone number. Kathy just put it in the live chat. There it is, 888-278-2793 if you're on the podcast. And when you go to Holly, oh, here we go. Where are we at, Jay? When you go to Holly, right, you log in, and this is, right, you start seeing loads, right? That's the whole point. We want loads fast. We want information. We want it easy to absorb. We want to set filters. We want to get to it. Book loads. Go to Holly.com. We're also going to do tonight a brief information superhighway. So hold on to your hats. Jason and Ray, we're looking at probably, I'll have you guys in here. It'll still be like a good half hour, because we got to finish industry news. We're going to do a brief information superhighway again, kind of a recap of where we were, where we're going. You know, I like to talk about the full ecosystems: OEMs, auctions, dealers, shippers, services, brokers, carriers, equipment, regulations, and loads, as I've identified it. Well, what are we doing tonight? Well, we are doing the intersection, where the OEMs, shippers meet the services that then supply the carriers with the loads. It's something like that and more. We do the back of the store, we do the front of the store on Auto Transport Intel. In the back, you find the transport parking lot. In the front, you find the dealer selling the cars, and around you go. It is the year of the hybrid, where digital meets physical, right? It used to be just purely physical. Now there's so much more digital. Digital meet physical on the year of the hybrid on Auto Transport Intel. That's why we talk about crazy things like Carrier Dealer Remarketer. That was last Tuesday night's show. Did you see that show? Man, that was a great show. Thank you, Michelle, Paul, Mike, Tim, and Ty, for your time and participation and support. It was a great show. And I shared it on LinkedIn. Man, we had just a great time up in here. In fact, shout out to, Tim Scoutalus, who again was on the show with Paul. Now, Paul made it on Tim's show, so go to YouTube, and if you you can subscribe to Tim Scoutalus. He's got his own YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe and look for Paul Machin from Black Book was on Tim's show. That's an interview with Paul. That's a great, man. That's a great show. Good job, Tim. I love that show. And then Paul Meyer, Sunday night, had Tim on his show. Paul's part of the gang too. Max Digital. Now here's what you do. Paul Meyer, shout out. Go to, on YouTube, The White Tablecloth. Go ahead and subscribe. And that was the Max Digital show. That was on Sunday night. Man, it was great. So, digital, physical, hybrid, etc. Have you seen this? This is a concept of the IV, the upcoming Apple car, the long-awaited. People really want to know what's going to happen. Interesting. Take it in. You know, with all the senses. Interesting. Okay, let's get to some news. Automotive news. You know, VW CEO says 100,000 vehicles were lost due to the chip shortage. So they're going to work on fixing that. Oh yeah, you're going to put a hurdle in the middle of automotive? Well, we're just going to go around your hurdle. Somebody asked me, hey, I'm not good at this internet thing. How do I listen to your 9 o'clock show, Jay, tonight from my computer? Well, I'm glad you asked, Joe. Go to Auto Transport Intel on YouTube. You tell your friends. Don't leave anybody out. And just type in Auto Transport Intel. And here you go. Go subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. When you do that, you'll get all the notifications every time I go live. And I try to set all the alerts, and you'll get the alerts, and you'll be here, and you'll be part of the family. It's amazing. It's incredible. In fact, you can watch it. You can watch it from your office. Put it up on the big screen, right? I know you're trying to get stuff done, but you know, hey, let's see. Stuff to do. ATI. All right, I pick ATI. Thank you so much for doing that. Even the cat, Coco the cat, loves ATI. You believe that? It is amazing. Thank you, Coco, so much for watching Auto Transport Intel. Ernest Dandridge of Ernest Dandridge Carrier Design sent me an email. Thank you so much. And he was appreciative of the shout out. I connected him with, we had the car shipping roundtable. If you want to you want to be a part of the car shipping roundtable? Ty is here. Say, Ty, what is this car shipping roundtable stuff? I got to be a part of it. Well, Lawrence Moore, he joined us, and he was looking for a customized trailer for his slingshots. Well, of course, I put him in touch with Ernest Dandridge of Ernest Dandridge Carrier Design. There's your shout out. He's got a Facebook site, RAD, for modulated equipment. That's cool. Thanks, Ernest, for the email, buddy. In fact, speaking of trailers, you got a trailer for sale? See, Fast Eddie Silver Mint, he sent me a thing. He said, listen, man, here's a trailer for sale. Please go ahead and share it. So there you go. Now, it's interesting. It's not the single. It's not the single Mad Dog. It's the 3-car wedge behind it. So there it is. It's a 2013 down-to-earth gooseneck. And there's your price. Your contact is Jeff Miller. Go ahead and set that up. And then also send me your memes. When the parking spot is freshly paved, wide, well lit, right next to a barbecue shack, and ATI is on the big screen, I'm just happy as a walrus. Used car news. Here's some news. IAA is adding another Kansas City site. The new location will more than double their current footprint. Sweet. That's in Odessa, Missouri, east of Kansas City on I-70, just past Owida. Oklahoma House passes a bill to protect drivers who hit protesters. Holy mackerel. Do we need that? Man. I was just, I've been having such a great time. I've been happy for 20 minutes, and then you point out what year it is? Next. Driver says trucking company threatened family after alleged illegal practices. Okay, I point this at this is not cool. Not good at all. But, what's interesting, this just what came out on Freight Waves. Well, we had Sviatoslav Likhanov, something like that. He was on the show in July. This was a crazy show. He shared his trailer. He was being, I don't know, he was whistleblowing, shaking down on his company. Anyways, it streamed, got a lot of, anyways, I don't want to end up on any. Okay, let's keep going. Hey, this is how you get your car shipping news. We have no time to waste. Oh, wait a minute. Are you a car shipping guru? You want to put this up on the lives on the big screen. You ready to go? Let's do this thing. By the way, thanks for so much. If you're just saying hello in the live chat, wow, Paul Machine is blowing it up. We got Mark, Paul, Tim. What's going on? Hot dogs in lane 8. Oh, man. I'm having too much fun. All right. Thank you guys so much. Here we go. By the way, Dispatch Center, 5,000 carriers, 5,000 loads by June 5th. We should update that. June 5th. Why not? 555. Help us get there. Go to Dispatch Center. Keith Allen's here. What's up? Hola, amigo. Ron, getting cracked up. Here we go. All right. All right. Everybody got their fingers on the buzzers? Let me get my handy dandy thing going here. Okay. Ready? Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, put it up on the big screen. Okay, here we go. The largest truck stop in the world is located in what state? Now, you know, we don't share the answers on Tuesday nights. We do that on Thursdays on Dispatching Live. But if you think you have the answer, yeah, there it is. There, it's in the live chat. You want to click on dispatchcenter.com/Ask Larry, where you can submit your answers. If you get all 5 right, we got 4 more coming. Did he say 5? Oh, here we go. What is the most appropriate carrier pay amount to ship a 2019 Toyota Camry from Indianapolis to Banning, California? Okay, now Larry, by the way, don't be messing with Larry, because Larry knows what it takes to get a car moved. There might be a price that you want on the best day, or there might be a price that somebody took and you don't like it. But Larry knows the price to get the car moved. Okay, ready? Here we go. Here's number 3. According to Exalta, what was the most popular vehicle color in the U.S. in 2020? Is it pink? Okay, go to dispatchcenter.com/Ask Larry. Pink is not a choice. Chris Chamberlain, I-80 in Iowa. Man, everyone, Iowa is all over the place. All right, here we go. All right, you guys ready? What is the most appropriate carrier pay amount to ship a 67 Chrysler Newport from Colorado Springs to Valley Stream, New York? Again, Larry, Transport Auto Quoter. That's right, you can go to transportautoquoter.com and find out if you know. Do you know the answer? Go to dispatchcenter.com/Ask Larry, or just put it in the live chat. Why not? All right, here we go. We got one more. You guys ready? Which of the following is not considered when Larry generates a price for a shipment? Is it the color of the car? The answer is Iowa. Excellent. Well done, everybody. Okay, that was really... Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for humoring me. That really is fun. Thank you for putting your guesses in the live chat. Again, I highly encourage you, go to dispatchcenter.com/Larry/Ask Larry. Submit your answers, and you can win a prize. So here we go. Let's keep going. By the way, don't forget, go to autotransportintel.com. Click on sign up, become an ATI insider. We'll put you in touch with Ty. He's in the live chat right now. You get in touch with him right now. Jay, I don't need to go sign up. I don't need to go to autotransportintel.com. I don't need to click on sign up. Ty's in the live chat. I don't need to do any of those things, but you can do it. You can do it if you want to, and it is that time. So I'll tell you what, here's what we're going to do. It's time for a little bit of ELD punch, because I love them ELDs. Here's Ty.
Hey, it's Ty, transport guy, hanging out in the transport parking lot always. If you want to learn to grow your business, I think you should probably go to ATI Insider, sign up for free. Don't give anybody any money. And with that, you get, I think you get a 20-minute phone call, which usually turns into a little longer than that. You get to join the roundtable which is once a month. And at the roundtable, what we do is we get pretty detailed about how to build your business, how to connect with dealers, how to connect with auctions, how to build a lane. If you're new, if you saw a YouTube video and says, I can make $1 million in a week and I want to get into car hauling, Ty, and maybe you own a Stinger, maybe you own a little rollback. Man, how do I figure this out? Should I buy this? Should I buy that? What do I need? How do I do it? Get to make relationships with other carriers. It's kind of not a one size fits all. It's here a little bit about you. Go to the ATI Insider, get signed up. I can help you. I really can.
He can help you. He wants to help you. He's in the live chat, and there's some links as well. You can click on that link. That first link, that's your sign up link. That second information, that's Ty's phone number. It's right there. You can call him. He's watching the show. And then there's his email address, Ty Thompson at Cars on the Move. And that goes for whether you're a carrier or a dealer or a broker or a dispatcher, you work at an auction. You know Ty every Friday likes to hang out at the auctions, talking to dealers, hanging out at auctions, and networking with carriers. That's what he does, and that's what he wants to help you do. So he can help you. He really can. Did you see, let's keep going with the news. It's magical on cars.com. It's magical. Have you seen this diner ad? It's really got my attention. And yet it's another one, right? We're going to keep seeing not only car buying ads, but ads that talk about delivery, which gets us into auto transport. Buy a car online, have it delivered, cars.com. Click there, shop for cars, talk about home delivery. So who delivers the car? We love to ask these questions on Auto Transport Intel. I love that. Very interesting question. Go to cars.com/shopping. Car lots. Man, they're talking about moving cars. We're going to talk about consumer driveway inventory tonight, right? Car lots is in that space. Car lots and Ally sharing news on LinkedIn. Now, I love this kind of stuff. Blankety blank transforms into a modern digital auto transportation provider. So, you mean that's news? Wait a minute. What's the date on this? What is this, like from a year ago? Nope, it's news today. Oh, it's news yesterday? That blankety blank is transforming into a modern digital auto. Really? You're the first one. The first one. Very interesting. This is a identifying the needs of contemporary blankety blank. Blankety blank has undergone a digital transformation. Blankety blank is the best. You keep seeing. Here's another one. You want to see another one? Sure, why not, Jay? Let's see. Blankety blank welcomes blankety blank to our award-winning team. We're pleased to announce that blankety blank. Okay, here's my favorite part. I have no idea. I've never heard of this company before. Never have heard of them, and yet they're one of the country's leading providers of automotive transport solutions. What's the point, Jay? Get to the point. The point is that it's interesting how in auto transport, I guess there's still not enough communication where if you say it and you post a PR press release, I guess it's true, because as of yesterday, these guys I'd never heard of are yet another one of the country's leading providers of automotive transport solutions. All right, let's keep moving, I guess. Carriers, you don't spend you spend enough time complaining. You see this stuff on Facebook and stuff. All right, we're pointing it out. Why are we pointing this out? Because this is why we're so fragmented, guys. If you're not going to show up or decide to take someone else's load, at least call me and let me know. And remember, you reap what you sow. Wow. How about this one? Hey, we enjoy your show. This is a message to me. What can you do about car dealerships that have a central dispatch account but are posting cars shipped by other dealerships? Is that okay? I don't know. Man, look at that. He mentions brokering. There's that word. Oh, nobody likes that word. Moving on. Escalated rating has been closed. Here's an interesting one I got. A company that canceled the load went behind my back to my customer, asked for more money, and took the load anyways. Wow. But I guess you can't give a negative for that, because this is auto transport. Hey, can anyone give me a hand? I can't get any loads. They're making me wait 10 days. I got this, I got that. I'm in Texas. Best thing I can tell you is start knocking on doors and shaking hands. Well, there you go. Next. What else we have here? Oh, thanks for your feedback. We've decided we're going to give you more time before we do away with our legacy shirts. Legacy search. Okay, right. Now, wait a minute, Jay. Hold on a second. I thought this was a business channel, and now you got all this. It is a business channel, and yet this is how business, what I just went through, this is happening every day out there on social media. It is a free-for-all. The information's all over the place. I really want to try and help change that. So let's do some actual news. All right, here's some news. DMS disrupted. Okay, Jay, what does this have to do with auto transport? Well, dealer management systems, it's not just the two giants now. The CDK and Reynolds are allowed. You got other entrants coming in. Well, smells like auto transport to me, because that's why I point these things out. You know, if you want to stay ahead, share the good news. United Road is here tonight to share their good news. This is one of their carriers. Look at that. He's got, now I didn't know this, and I saw this in the post. This is an elite carrier jacket. We're going to learn more about what it takes to be an elite carrier at United Road. That's the kind of stuff I want to hear about. Mark, CEO of United Road, shared this on LinkedIn. Thank you to the more than 360 of our professional car haulers, independent contractors who achieved damage-free elite driver status. Cool, man. That's a great post. You know, and as I say this when I have a lot of executive Zoom meetings now. You know what all the carriers want to hear from the companies is that they are appreciated, they want to be recognized, and they want to know, how do we get on your Rolodex? How do I get from the drama? How do I get out of this drama? The drama loop, right? The drama loop that I just showed you. How do I get out? Well, that's what we're talking about tonight. Get out of the drama loop. Auto Transport Intel, 4 times a week, Tuesday nights live, where you're here now. And thank you so much for tuning in and saying hello in the live chat and being so active. I appreciate it. Tomorrow is DOT compliance. We're going to stick to the rules. Just the facts, ma'am, on DOT compliance. You know I mix it up. It's Auto Transport Intel. It's infotainment. I try. I'm working hard. Dispatching live every Thursday, where we look at the load boards, give dispatching advice. Then Fridays, Cars on the Move with Ty in the transport parking lot, connecting dealers, auctions, and carriers. There it is. Look for that. When you see that, you know you're in the right place every Wednesday. There's Brian Riker, your DOT guy, giving out the great advice. Man, I think I'm right on time. Awesome. Load board search advice every Thursday. Now listen, there's not going to be a show Thursday. This is why I got distracted from the Cars on the Move information. You know what's going on Thursday? I shared this on LinkedIn. I know some people know about this. And anybody, if you're with IARA, feel free to share a link or go to IARA.biz. Hey, what's up, Henry? Thanks for saying hello. On Thursday, March 18th, IARA is having an all-day virtual conference. And I sent this out. You will love this transportation and logistics panel. It's Thursday. It's at 3:50 Eastern, 2:50 Central, 12:50 Pacific. I'm moderating a panel. We're going to have Joe Kiekler from Mannheim, Adam Laura, Assertus, Ray Moran, United Road, and Eric Rosenau from Vroom. Man, it's not going to be long enough, but it's going to be amazing and action-packed. 40 minutes. Did you see that? 40 minutes of intense, current, real transportation and logistics talk from industry leaders. Man, that's going to be amazing. Thank you guys so much for that. So you go to IARA.biz. You can get signed up. There is a cost. It is going to be worth, that panel alone is going to be worth it. And there's other panels throughout the day. In fact, here's what's so cool. Thank you so much, IARA, because then after that conference, the conference is Thursday. Next Tuesday night on Tuesday Nights Live, they're going to be here with me. Paul, Tony, David, and Michelle from IARA will be. Oh, cool. We got the Zoom meeting happening soon. They're going to be with me on Tuesday Nights Live. That's going to be the show a week from tonight. This is the Car Shipping Business Channel. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll tell you what, I don't want to spook anybody, but we did hit a record tonight. We hit a record today with the email blast. It was a record opening of the email blast. And now there are record views. As I say that, 20 people just jumped off. No, We have record views tonight. That is super cool. Thank you guys so much. So I don't have a transition for it. So I'll tell you what, let's do this. Guys, we're going to go into the interview here soon. But before we do, you know I love a good... here's what I want to do. Okay. I started dispatching in 2012. I told you this, right? There's me, dispatch office. I got my 2010 Atlas. Wow, things have changed, right? I mean, I didn't really look at the Atlas, but the driver thought I needed one because the driver used to say, get a map. And I'm set up in the dispatch office, and I got my map, and I'm dispatching, and I'm learning the ropes. And 4 years later, I am at the corner of unhappiness, okay? It only took me 4 years to lose my mind. And I thought, you know, there's got to be a better way. The reason it's there's this lack of information and lack of cooperation and the technology, you know, drivers, man, 4 years ago, well, that was 5 years ago, drivers were like, man, this app blows. I don't know why I got to use this. So I started making videos, right? I started making videos. Here's one. Here's an early and a goodie. Car hauling dispatcher living the dream. I took to the internet. I started putting the videos out on Auto Transport Intel. And by August 2018, top 5 car hauling load boards, right? As I identified it. Central, Ready, Cars, United, Metro, Ship.Cars. And by the end of 2019, I put together the top 12 car hauling load boards video, not to be outdone by the Auto Transport Software Update Q4 2019 full 1 hour video. So that's why I have the authority. I have the authority. And I think I've proven it online ad nauseum. People are like, yeah, Jay, I'm a little sick of it. That, I mean, video after video, all this information, and I know there's a lot of dispatching videos at this point. I really, when I was doing it, I didn't see that many. And there's a dashboard ad. Let's see, top 5, top 5 car hauling load boards video, right? Nobody was doing this. Nobody was identifying different load boards and trying to put them in order and trying to go through. Nobody was doing that. There were some videos, though, within companies, but no third party was doing it, and that was the Auto Transport Intel way. When I put together the top 12, that was exciting. And by the way, you go to this video, go down in the descriptions and check this out. That's another thing. Don't miss my video descriptions. Now, the video description for this video right here, I mean, we're live, so I can't really update it. But I will in the next 24 to 48 hours. And you go into my video descriptions and you got all the links to the load boards and information, etc., yo. And then, of course, just why not? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go beyond the load board. Load boards, mobile apps, dispatch dashboards, CRM, Auto Transport Software Update Q4 2019. Have you seen this list of links? It's off the hook. So that is why I believe I have the authority and the right, and it's my honor to invite and have individuals from these industry leaders in auto transport to share good news and information, because at this point, I don't even know how I would do. There's so much happening. I don't even think I have time to do another. What am I going to do? Top 20 load boards? Top 30 load boards? Top 50 mobile apps? I don't even know. So we're going to go into individual companies and share great information. So I'll tell you what. Let's do this. It is now time, I do believe. Let me go ahead and start. Okay, so I'm starting up the live meeting. All right. So Joe, yep, here we got, I said Joe. Jason and Ray, they're going to be here in a second. Hold on 1 second. And we still got, we got a lot going on. Hey, what's going on? Candy's here. And let's see. Oh, Candy and Mark and Paul. It is a regular Auto Transport Intel Core Fest. You know, I appreciate the core. Just checking my notes. We're about to go live. Wow, it's 8:45. I said 8:50. I almost said 8:45. And check mic check one. Look at that. Mic check 1 2 3. How long has the audio been a little bit low on my side here? All right, let me check the audio, and it's time to check the front door because I believe our guests are here. It's time to say hello. It's the big introduction. I'll tell you what, let's do this. Since I already got the game sounds right here, I almost shut it down. Welcome to Auto Transport Intel. Jason Walker, COO of United Road. He's live. He's here. Please say, we'll introduce Ray in a second, but Jason, please say hello to the live audience.
Hey Jay, I really appreciate you having us on. Like I said, we appreciate the opportunity to talk a little bit about United Road and talk about Holly, and engage with all of your viewers. So thanks. Good talking to you, and good evening.
Thank you so much, and I can hear you good. That's awesome. I forgot to ask you that, but everything's great. Video, audio's good. Ray, can you see us and hear us okay?
I can.
All right, then welcome to the live show on Tuesday night. Much anticipated, widely distributed and acclaimed. Ray, Director of Operations at United Road, please do say hello.
Well, hello, Jay, and all the fans of ATI. Certainly watch many episodes myself, and happy to be here as a resource for the carriers. And, we always want to listen and get the feedback and get better.
Hey Jay, I'll say this. I'll add to this. As I was listening and watching the show earlier, you're going through the social media feeds talking about the country's leading providers in auto transport. And so we want to take this opportunity to have the actual, country's leading auto transport provider actually come on, and not the no names that you were talking about before. So I appreciate that lead in, Jay.
And I honestly thought of you guys when I saw some of those kinds of slides, because everybody knows the name United Road. Mm-hmm. And I'm almost daily. I'm just going to share this. I love to share secrets. Here's a secret. I see some of the blog posts. You see these like strange blog posts with these strange titles, and there's a link hidden in the blog post, and it's just creating link juice for a company that you may or may not have heard of or whatever. And these blog posts get pumped out regularly. And I always wonder, did anybody read this blog post besides me?
Well, as long as it's good information, we hope that people do. But unfortunately, sometimes there's a little bit of misinformation out there. So,
well, there are so many best auto transport leading provider company titles out there. So, thank you so much for taking the time. I really, really appreciate it. I'm excited. So, all right. So let's get focused. We want to talk about Holly first, right?
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely.
So take it away, Jason.
And so that's not just here in the United States, but we have a good presence in Canada as well. And I believe one of our great OEMs, who I know that a couple of those folks are actually watching tonight, awarded us Carrier of the Year in Canada, as well as Carrier of the Year in the U.S. just a couple of years ago. So we take pride in what we do as United Road. And back in 2019, we introduced Holly to the industry. Certainly, there are some great load boards that are out there, but we saw an opportunity to really leverage some partnerships with our carriers, with what we're doing at what we're doing at United Road, and we're doing that through Holly. We've had some great, the last, I'll say, year and a half has been really, really good, for Holly. Certainly 2020 is a challenge for everyone, right? But we've seen I'll say the adoption rate and the number of carriers that are using Holly continue to rise. So I'll let Ray kind of talk a little bit about some of the specifics we're seeing, behind Holly, and the number of people logging in and things like that.
Sure. So as Jason stated, we launched in September of 2019, and I always thought it was interesting on how we built Holly. So when we had this initial vision of Holly, we came up with these 3 pillars, which was, create value with our carrier partners through expertise, partnership, and ever present. And we thought the best way of doing that was really to have our carriers be part of the development team. So when we were building this, we flew carriers out to our office here. The development team and myself flew out to go visit the carriers out at their location. And, we called upon their knowledge. We listened to the pain points that they had and tried to build a solution together. And in doing this, we really felt that we were able to, again, hear the voice of our carriers, whether that is a one truck operator or a carrier that has an expansive fleet. And, today we have over 4,000 registered users to Holley, with about half of them interacting with the system on a daily basis. Our development team is continuing to work on new features, again, in tandem with our carrier partners, and try to solve the new opportunities that our customers bring and our carriers. And another thing that I really take pride in with Holley is that it's more than a platform. It is supported by our live dispatch center and carrier relations staff that are available 7 days a week. This gives the broad carrier market two options. We have a platform and technology, and that's great when they want to use it. But we have a hotline, which Kathy shared earlier in the show, in which you can talk to dispatchers that have been in auto haul for a really long time, and talk through that network. Where are you at? Where do you want to go? What do your lanes look like? What do our lanes look like? And we'll really try to build that relationship. And then we use Holley to process.
You said something really important, is that the developers worked with the carriers. That's a big deal. Because as we know, with some of the things being updated right now on Dispatching Live, Sue and I, as dispatchers, are looking at some of the things being updated, and we're saying, did you ask dispatchers and carriers as you went through that process? And developing software, that's tough, right? Yeah. And this is nationwide. You just said over 4,000 users. That's a lot of people using the software.
Yeah, so I'll add to that, Jay. Certainly our development of Holley was, certainly an acknowledgement. United Road, we had a system out there, UR Autoloads, which I'm sure, many of your viewers are familiar with. But Holley was part of an acknowledgement for us that, there's no one carrier that's bigger than its industry. And you said earlier in some of your comments, talking about, back into your early days of dispatch, talking about lack of information, lack of cooperation. And so Holley for us certainly is an acknowledgement of the cooperation that's needed within our industry. And we as United Road certainly, the position that we are able to share within this industry, felt it important for us to foster that cooperation with our carriers. And as Ray was talking about, us bringing carriers out to our headquarters to work with developers and things like that is just another example of that.
Well, and I think I said, because I don't think it's a secret, and I referenced the videos, I said something about UR Autoloads in one of my videos,
yeah.
And I Holley's a step in the right direction, so thank you.
Yep.
Awesome.
Oh, trust me, Jay. We heard the comments.
Loud and clear, like a cowbell. Okay, cool. So let's go on to Holley Pro.
Yeah, so Holley Pro, we're really excited about Holley Pro. It's something that we actually just introduced back in January, and certainly our carriers are the face of United Road to many of our customers. Like I said earlier, we can't go it alone. While we have a very large fleet of company drivers and independent contractors servicing our customers across the country, and in Canada as well. We recognize that we can't do everything that we would like to do on our own trucks. So that's where our carriers come in and really help us out here. The Holley Pro Carrier Program is our way of supporting our high-performing carriers. And when I say high-performing, we're talking about guys that are excelling with on the damage side of it, or lack thereof, service, compliance to the app, and things like that. So these guys are going above and beyond to fulfill United Road's promise to our customers of safe, on-time, and damage-free delivery. Ultimately, that's where our customers are asking us to do is to deliver their vehicles safely, deliver them on time, and deliver them without damage. And these Holly Pro carriers are helping us do just that. And so this is our way of continuing our commitment to them, to building long-term relationships. Because as I said, we can't, we won't be successful on our own. And so we have to leverage these relationships and these partnerships to do that. So Ray, I know you've a little closer with some of our carriers. Anything else you want to add on the Holly Pro?
Yeah, sure. I just want to agree with everything. And I know Jay has lamented on, what makes an elite carrier. And that is what makes the elite carrier, from our purview, and gives carriers the ability to grow within our network and grow their business. Our Holly Pro carriers are ones where, we have very strong relationships from a dispatcher to the owner of the dispatcher of that company, and everyone knows Car Hall. It is a big industry, but it is an industry of small relationships. And we like to work through those and really give credit where credit's due and work with them to help them build out those lanes. So, I wanted to give a couple call outs to Mikhail Saravov, which is USDA carriers. They're out of Dayton, Ohio. They've been in business for right around 8 years. They're kind of a mid-sized carrier of 10 to 15 trucks. And again, they're a family-owned business, which is always exciting for us to kind of highlight that in an engagement like this. And then the other one is Millwood Transport. That's Jason Robertson. They're out of Memphis, Tennessee. Been in business for 3 years, have 2 3-car haulers, and works with us enough, hits all these buckets to hit the Holly Pro status.
We all appreciate recognition of hard work. Those metrics, okay, as I call them. There's 4 distinct categories, types that help bring you into high performing, right? There was so much per quarter, right, of loads, of revenue pulled, and then on-time delivery, I guess a percentage of on-time delivery, using the app, and then damage-free. Can you elaborate on those 4 again?
Yeah, so I'll just back up one step. With Holly and everything we do, we try to make it easy for carriers. So we are running all this data for our carriers, and you are automatically eligible when you hit these buckets, and we will reach out and let you know that you are now a Holly Pro carrier. And the exact numbers are delivered revenue of $30,000 or more in the previous quarter, 90% on-time delivery, 90% VETTX compliant, our mobile application, and 99.7% damage-free. As soon as you hit those buckets, we run this data every quarter, we'll reach out to you, and you will enter the Holly Pro program.
And you know what I liked when you talked about, if you reach into that, I like to call it the Rolodex, right? You get on the you're on the preferred list. Everybody wants to be on any preferred list, right? And so when you get in there, then you as a company, you look at those preferred carriers as an important part of your network. So it's really a give and take, right?
Absolutely. And so, Jay, some of the things that we're doing for those carriers, that we recognize as Holly Pro, in addition to them getting quarterly rebates, and so there's a financial reward in it for them because they're getting rebates on any, on future things that they move with us. But some of the other things that we're doing is giving them a dedicated dispatcher to work with. Somebody that knows their needs, somebody that knows their dispatch, knows their dispatch patterns, and even knows their drivers, that will look at our system and see what we have to that may fit those needs for them. And then the other piece, which I think is huge, is these Holly Pro carriers. When we have large groups of business that we have to move, and we're going out and looking for rates and looking for capacity, we're going to those carriers first. And so we're giving those carriers the first bite, bite at the apple, if you will. And as long as they can meet the criteria for the customer, then those lanes never make it out into the open public. And so those carriers are really getting, because of their history with us and their stellar work experience with us, we feel absolutely comfortable, using them as an extension of our fleet. And that's what we're doing by giving them an early look at it. Plus, it allows them to, really not feel like they have to compete on price and compete on so many other levels. And so they get the first bite of the apple, which I think is monumental for many of those carriers, because it allows us to be an extension of their own sales force.
And now you've built what we always come back to relationships, right? No matter how you view, whether you're looking at a technology or somebody you picked up a car from, eventually you realize that growing that business relationship,
Yep.
right, and getting into a preferred status is that's how you grow a business. And we got some great stuff in the live chat. Mark Anderson is in the live chat. What's up? That's awesome. That's really, really neat. I think it is. I think it's exciting for the industry as a whole. It's neat. I think it's neat. Of course, I'm biased because I'm the host, but I think it's neat to see the use of social media in a way to help our industry communicate better, get information. If someone that's not live right now and not joined us, but watches later, and they can watch this interview and put a name with a face, that's Jason Walker of United Road. I can see him, I can hear him, and that means a lot to me. I really appreciate it.
No, we appreciate certainly the opportunity to come on and talk about some of the good things that we got going on at United Road. So like I said, we appreciate you. Appreciate the platform that you're providing, not just for us, but for the industry. And just look forward to keeping the conversations going, because we recognize that the conversations don't just stop here. We have to, like I said, work cooperatively throughout this entire industry to service our customers, because as other carriers are successful, and as our Holly Pro carriers are successful, that's when we're successful. And if we hope to continue to do business with some of the great OEMs and great remarket customers that we have, then it's important for us to look for solutions that are really win-win situations.
Because that's part of one of the things that Ty and I will talk about. Some rooms you walk into, you have to have a nationwide organization to manage that contract, because this is a big contract.
Absolutely.
Right? Yep. And that's why, when we're coaching, we're like, okay, let's not talk about automakers. You're not ready to talk to an automaker today. This is a really big deal. Rails and manufacturing plants. So having said that, talking about all that, do you want to talk a little bit about carrier awards?
Yeah, I do. And so I'll start, and then I'll kick it over to Ray, and we'll tag team this a little bit. But as an offshoot of Holly Pro, one of the things that Holly Pro was designed to be a reward program for our carriers that go above and beyond. And so as we have been the recipients of many carrier awards over the course of the history of United Road, and so we're very blessed to have some great customers that recognize some of the great work we're doing. And so as we look at ourselves, and we serve as a customer for many of our carriers, that we should be looking at them likewise and reciprocating what our customers are doing for us, and recognizing our good work, that we want to do the same thing for our carriers as well. So in addition to the Holly Pro Rewards program, we wanted to start our Holly Carrier of the Year awards. And so this is so Jay, this is cutting edge here, because this is our inaugural awards. And so so Jay, the Grammys have nothing on you. So the Grammys earlier in the week. We got Auto Transport Intel on Tuesday.
That's awesome.
It's a great week. But and so we wanted to use this platform to really announce 3 carriers that, while we have a number of great carriers, we have over 90 carriers that are in our Holly Pro program, but there's 3 carriers that have really, really just stood out from the rest. And these folks have set the bar really high with quality, on-time service, and VETTX usage, all those things, and they consistently go above and beyond to meet our customers' needs and help our customers be successful. So with that, And I'll let Ray kind of announce the first award and tell you a little bit about that carrier and the work they're doing for us.
All right.
The first one's exciting because I saw Leanne Manning in the chat earlier in the show, and that is LTT Trucking out of Moran, Texas. Kind of, show the little trophy we got coming her way. And so LTT hauls, heavily in Texas and Louisiana. And I thought the best way of encapsulating some of these carriers was just giving a quote of the dispatchers that she has a very close relationship with. And that is, Leanne is very ambitious. When they commit to a transportation assignment, they see it through to the end. And Leanne always goes above and beyond on follow-up and really making sure everything that she books in Hawley comes through at those dates. And, Joe, I'm sure you can, Jay, I'm sure you can reference what it was like as a dispatcher. All of these carriers are the carriers that we reach out to when we're in a jam. Somebody came off an order, somebody broke down, the gambit. And these carriers, by and large, one phone call, we've reworked the whole inventory that we have going, and they're sending trucks to help us out.
Wow, that is awesome. And I liked how you point out some details, because that is the thing. To be a great carrier, it takes a great team, and there's always something you got to figure out last minute. So that to be the recipient of that award is pretty awesome. So very cool.
Hey, and so Jay, I'll continue on. I do want to say this before I announce the next award. So we broke up our carriers into small, medium, small, mid-size, and large. We recognize that some of the complexities that a large carrier has, a small carrier doesn't have. Some of the challenges and hurdles that a small carrier has to hop over and go through, a large or mid-size carrier doesn't. And so we broke our carriers up into those different groups. And so these are the folks that we're recognized as the best of those respective groups. So I just wanted to explain that a little bit for your viewing audience, so they understood kind of how we have 3 carriers of the year, and LTT Trucking, as Ray just announced, as our winner of our small carrier of the year division. I do want to point out that LTT Trucking is a woman-owned business, and so we're certainly proud to support Leanne in her business, what she's doing down there.
Absolutely.
So for our mid-size carrier, is actually Davidson Transport LLC out of Quincy, Ohio. Being a native of Ohio myself, I'm glad to see that we got an Ohio carrier in here. And so, Davidson Transport is led by Brett Davidson. They haul primarily OEM vehicles for us. And they haul out of Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. And just like Ray kind of showed for you as well, here's our award for Davidson Transport, which will be in the mail very shortly. Also coming to Brett and his team, as well as Leanne and her team, and our large carrier, which we'll announce here, momentarily. But in addition to that award, we're also, we have a Carrier of the Year jacket going in for the owners, plus Carrier of the Year hats for each of their drivers as well. So those are just some of the things we're doing. In addition, there is a financial piece to it as well, where we're gonna, allow them to get some rebates on the, shipments that they do for us moving forward. But back to Davidson, some of the comments on Davidson from our dispatch team is that that there certainly are, one of our go-to subcontractors for the, for years, and they have serviced us for years and serviced us well. They're always dependable and picking up loads in a timely manner, great communication, and Jay, as Ray, alluded to in the past, your previous experience as a dispatcher, great communication is, while it may sound simple, sometimes it's hard to come by, and Davidson certainly does a great job of communicating with us. They're always willing to move loads that simply others won't do for us. Whenever we need them, they'll go. Wherever we need them, they'll go to, and they get the job done 100% of the time, and with professionalism. So to Brett Davidson and the crew of Davidson Transport, thank you all very much for all of your hard work throughout 2020, and we look forward to a great continuing partnership in 2021.
Hear, hear. Thank you. That's awesome. And this is exciting. Somebody put it, I think Candy put it in the live chat, this is exciting. This really is exciting and fun. So thank you guys so much. for doing this live here. Thank you.
And I think we got one more.
Wow, This is big. This is a big one. This has got to be hard to be the winner of this.
So this is for our large carrier of the year. It is Eastside Auto out of Wallingford, Connecticut. And Eastside, again, I'm sure it's a carrier that everyone has heard of in the past. Eastside runs in that whole I-95 corridor from Maine to North Carolina. They're a big carrier. They move OEM, they move dealer, rental, auction, fleet. They're one of those carriers that we called upon during the development and rollout of Holly. My team works closely with them, and they're one of those carriers where we're really always looking at the network. They have their own kind of contract work as well. We try to marry up what we have, be it remarketed or OEM, and just constantly keep their trucks loaded. You know, one of the key pieces of Holly is always making it easy, and Eastside is one of those carriers where we make it easy on them, they make it easy on us, and we really enjoy that relationship that we have with them. And one of the dispatcher quotes was, working with Eastside Auto is so simple. Their knowledge and also their driver's professionalism makes it a great fit. They're always courteous and pay attention to United Road procedures. They're a pleasure to work with. And we all feel that way with at United Road for Eastside and all the rest of our carrier awards and our Holly Pro and really all our carriers.
Wow, that is neat, really neat. I know that I should probably ask a couple questions, but I'm kind of basking in that's just really cool to have this awards here live, and Leanne is in the live chat. So she saw it live.
Yeah, we saw her earlier, yeah.
That is great. There is so much to it. I mean, that's the thing is each load can be, not every load, but many loads are so much work that then to be a recognized carrier, is this period of time, is this for an entire year? Is this for 2020, this recognition?
Yeah, it is for full year 2020. Like I said, this is the first time that United Road or Holly has issued carrier awards like this, and so this is the first of many. And so I say this to all of the carriers that maybe in your viewing audience. So as Ray talked about earlier, with our Holly Pro designation, we're certainly looking at all of our carriers and surveying them, each and every month to understand where they fit into the on our various metrics. And so, we encourage you to certainly haul with United Road and haul as much as possible. We love, to keep your trucks moving. We'll do that with the best rates possible. But when you haul with us, we just ask that you do what we commit to, because that's what our customers are looking for us all to do, and show up on time. We'll do the updates through the VETTX app, because so Jay, I'm sure you know this, and many of your viewers know this, but visibility nowadays and customers having visibility of where their cars are is as important as almost anything else right now. And so timely updates on the app help us do that. And lastly, and certainly not least by any stretch of imagination, but delivering that vehicle damage free. And for these carriers that we just mentioned, and these awards, plus our 93 other carriers that have a Holly Pro designation next to their name, they're delivering vehicles, quite honestly, at a clip greater than 99.7% damage free. And for that, I mean, it's just an awesome accomplishment. And we are very thankful and filled with gratitude for those guys and what they're doing for us.
And I want to say that there's a couple of things. One is that I like the when you rise in the ranks, when you reach that level and you get a dispatcher or something like that, right? You could
Mm-hmm.
You've got specifics on that. But I know that when, as a dispatcher, booking loads, United Road is one of those companies that you have many folks listed in like the reference ID of the order or whatever, and I can call. And I started to know some of those dispatchers, and then so that I thought the prospect of having somebody like that on your side because you're moving that many loads for the company. I thought that was really neat, and I also like what you said about somebody's watching. You know that you're booking loads, you're delivering loads. I like the idea that there's somebody behind the load board looking at the metrics.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Jay, United Road's a large company, right? And United Road is a large player in this in finished vehicle logistics. I mean, the largest player in finished vehicle logistics. At the same time, we want to be easy to do business with, because we don't want to just have to have everyone fall in line with kind of how we do things, but we want to be easy to do business with, and we realize that the easier we make things for our carriers, the better they're able to service our customers, and quite honestly, the more capacity that they're willing to send our way to continue servicing those customers. So it's important for us, to the ease of business for our customers and Holly for our carriers, and Holly has been a great way to facilitate that. One of the best things about Holly itself is that our carriers can self-assign and basically self-dispatch, straight from our site, and that's certainly something we don't want to overlook, that they have the ability to do that. And these are all things that we're doing to make United Road and make car haul easier on the carrier, because we got to make sure that we take care of the men and women behind the steering wheels, because that's who is really driving this industry. As much as Ray or I, work throughout the day and other things we try to do, and other viewers that are working in dispatch, it's the men and women behind the wheel, the drivers that we need to make sure we're all taken care of.
Yeah, no doubt. Because the road is hard enough, and the load can be hard enough.
Yep.
So the easier it can be made behind the scenes. I like that, being able to get a dispatch after hours. And as I like to talk about, the hybrid model, digital, physical, sometimes phone calls, sometimes just booking by the button. And I know that using social media to show appreciation for carriers and calling out why carriers are being recognized is a great use of time. It never gets old. So,
Yep.
Yeah, and I know, from sitting on the phone with carriers day after day after day, that means a lot. So,
Yep.
Kudos
Absolutely.
to you all.
Absolutely.
Cool. I think we've had some great stuff in the live chat. I will just say, since Lionel, I try to fulfill my promises. Lionel said something about projections into the summer. Anything to add about projections as we move into the summer?
Well, I'll say this. Certainly, we have, we're staying close to all of our customers. You touched on it earlier. The chip shortage is impacting so many of the OEMs, and that probably throws a wrench into many of the plans. We do expect that some of the typical summer shutdowns that you've seen in previous years, we probably would expect that to be to a lesser degree this year, as people try to make up some lost ground because of the chip shortage. We saw a similar dynamic last year as people were trying to make up for lost time, due to COVID shutdown. So so I wouldn't be surprised. I have not gotten any confirmation from any of the OEMs on that yet, but that's certainly something I would, I think we could all reasonably expect. In addition to that, really, I think the big question is going to be, we all know the stimulus checks are going out there, tax return season, and the remarket freight is really going pretty heavy right now as well. So I would say that we should see continue to see a strong push on a remarketed, remarketed segment for the next couple months to kind of get us to that summer period. Hopefully by then we'll see that chip shortages subside somewhat. And if, like I said, it's if, because I have not gotten this confirmation from anyone yet, but if the OEMs do forego their typical, summer shutdowns they've had in the past, we'll continue to see some freight, coming on throughout the summer and keeping all the trucks rolling. So we're expecting between remarketed and OEM business for it still to be, quite a busy time and a heavy need for as much capacity as possible.
Yeah, well, we know, and that's one thing. If there's any theme we can get, no matter where we look or what we listen to or what vertical, we're seeing that, automotive is, it's really pretty strong compared to what we thought may have happened or speculation. It is strong. And so I would say this invitation would be to, if there's an opportunity for a panel coming up at some point where an OEM wants to share information, and we can have a panel discussion. It's just an idea, but it's an opportunity that'd be pretty neat. I don't know what it would be, but it's an idea.
Well, and looking at some of the people within your in the live chat right now, I think you got a couple OEM folks listening in. So, so they heard you loud and clear there.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, and I won't call anybody out, but I think I can name one. I think I can name one person. But you know what? That's the thing, is that this is a business channel, and I'm just happy there's so many people in the live chat. I'm happy to have you all here, and even John at Finest Towing. He summed it up. He's floored at what he's hearing. This is great. Yes, I concur. So this is great. Thank you guys so much. That is amazing. We appreciate it. I like to say, any parting thoughts, final 30 seconds, anything you want to say before I let you guys go?
I just want to say one other thing, for all the carriers out there, when you engage with Holly, when you save a search, when you make a search, we are constantly taking that information. I'm arming my dispatch team to reach out to you. And also, the next time you log into that system, it is going to auto-populate off of your history and what you've done, right? The second you do that, you log back in, you're going to see everything you have. And we have a lot of automation, a lot of information that my team has access to since the launch of Holly. So be on the lookout for phone calls. And, we're constantly trying to make Holly as easy as possible, and do that through just teeing up inventory the second you log in.
I like that you said that. Yeah, because you just said something I hadn't thought of, and that is that, like if you're shopping for something, the retailer knows if you didn't buy, and they do something about it. So if I look at a load, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I think I heard you say, if I look at a load and I don't book it, there's somewhere a metric that's interested in that. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That's
we use
amazing.
the data for a lot of different things, identifying demand on lanes. Each and every one of my dispatchers has access to who searched by the minute. So if you search for something out of Texas to Florida, and hey, maybe we didn't have anything at that time, we're constantly getting new orders in the system. And that dispatcher is going to see that you searched it, see there wasn't there at the time, and give you a phone call and talk about that order, talk about the network, and hopefully, we have something for you 2 hours later.
Right, or maybe a negotiation can begin or something like that. But I really, and that is the kind, because I've probably said it harshly, that sometimes about, I'll say Stone Age and I'll say auto transport, but I'm excited that I see we're progressing, right? We're catching up.
Absolutely.
And that's exciting. So thanks for helping make that happen.
Yeah.
And this show is progression. This is a big deal. Really is. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Hey, Jay, I'll say this as, kind of my parting shot here. Once again, we appreciate you, appreciate what you're doing in the industry, and highlighting the professional men and women, in the auto transport business. So thank you very much for that. And I'll certainly for all your viewers and all the carriers, we thank you. United Road would not enjoy the success that we have enjoyed over the years without, partners. And that's how we look at other carriers within this industry as partners. And we cannot thank you enough. So, Jay, thanks again. And look, this was fun. Look forward to doing it again soon.
Okay, awesome. Thank you all so much. Have a good night, and we'll be in touch. And I'm ending the meeting now. All right, so I just let him go. I just let United Road go. I just cut him off. But I had to. And by the way, how's the internet? Everything's okay. Thank you guys in the live chat. It's a denouement, but it's just intermission. very brief because next we have consumer driveway inventory with Paul Machin of Black Book and Nick and Jamie of VETTX. And I just started up the meeting, so Paul, Nick, Jamie, you guys can join in. I know we're just a few minutes late, but I hear the doorbell. The doorbell's going to start ringing. The live chat's going crazy. Man, this is one heck of a Tuesday night. And Mark Anderson, CEO of United Row. That is super cool. Thank you. Thank you, and Kathy, for answering questions, providing the information in the live chat. That's what the live chat is for. That was an amazing session. I see a lot of excitement about it. Also, what I need to make sure I do is I'm sharing the screen. I don't think anybody needed to do a screen share on that, but I think Paul might have something he wants to share. So let's just make sure everybody's here. I think everybody's joining. And yep. Okay, I'm seeing folks coming in here. We're going to start that up. We're just going to start this meeting up in a second. Wow, this is great. Here we go, kicking it off.
Things are about to get crazy.
Wow. Wow.
That's right.
Welcome, gentlemen, to the second half of Auto Transport Intel. This is neat. Jamie, we've never met. Nick, we've never met. Paul, veteran of the show. So let's do this before we introduce Jamie and Nick. Paul, thank you so much for putting this together for me tonight.
Absolutely.
What are we doing tonight?
So we're going to, we've been talking for majority of 2020, last 6 months or so, and all of 2021. And one of the themes that we've been talking about, that there needs to be a focused effort to transition to other channels to source inventory because of what we're experiencing right now. What you heard, Holly, what they were just talking about, the challenges we have in the market. And it turns out that VETTX became a recent partner with Black Book. They're very experienced. They've been in the private party sale vertical for a couple of years now, and I'm excited to introduce them with a nice segue from, I'm going to justify the case, the need for the driveway buy. I know I've highlighted, I've touched on it and why we needed to do it, but I put together some information that I think will drive the point on why we need haulers to adapt to this model. The retail industry needs to adapt to this model. Even the auction space needs to start adapting to this model, because the driveway buy, it will be the greatest source of the most valuable inventory we can get our hands on.
You know what? And I just realized, okay, so here's what I want you to do. Jamie, Nick, you guys obviously know this video, and Paul, you know this video too. I didn't show this yet. I'm gonna run this video. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Used vehicle acquisition is a top concern for dealers year after year. Out of necessity, some dealers turn to the private party market to meet used car demand. Most of them quickly discover that buying cars off the street is an incredible amount of work. Introducing VETTX. VETTX makes buying private party vehicles easy and realistic. Whether you're big, small, franchise, or independent, buying center or not, VETTX can give you the ability to overcome the challenges of buying cars off the street. 1. Based on your preset parameters, year, make, mileage, the VETTX software will filter through the private party market and target vehicles in your area that make business sense for your dealership. 2. Then, our in-house data center will book out every vehicle onto the VETTX platform using industry-standard appraising tools and collect all necessary information needed to make a purchase decision. If you want a consistent stream of used inventory that turns quick and don't want to scroll through Craigslist to meet demand, then visit our website and discover the future of vehicle acquisition. VETTX. Reach us at info-530-592-7535 or mike@vettx.com.
Okay, that's the contact information, and here we have VETTX with us. So, Paul, before we go to Black Book information, we have Jamie and Nick. Jamie, go ahead and say hello first. Can you see us?
Hi, my name is Jamie. Thank
Hey,
you.
Jamie.
Thank you for the invitation. It's great to be here. I've learned an enormous amount already.
Really? Fantastic. That's awesome. Thank you. Thanks for saying hello and thanks for joining us. Nick, please say hello.
What's going on? How are you, Jay?
I'm good. Thanks for taking
Awesome.
the time to join us. Because
we're glad to be here.
we are, okay, so I'm going to learn about VETTX. And I also, Paul has been teaching me more about consumer driveway inventory. We know that Ty likes to talk about, Ty Thompson, Cars on the Move, every Friday, likes to talk about, listen, those vehicles that are getting sold and now bought from the consumer's lot, somebody's going to transport them. There's a business model there. There's a lot of new business models. This is an important one to talk about. So, Paul, take it away.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, the case for the driveway buy, right? So a couple of weeks ago, I introduced LinkedIn to the coming perfect storm. But you know, Jay, that I've been talking about the driveway buy since the very first show that we started. And that was one of the things that really intrigued you. So the perfect storm, what are those elements, right? So you talk about the economy and what the recovery looks like. That's storm number one. Storm number two, moratoriums and credit. What does that impact to the available inventory, especially as it relates to the remarketing vertical? And the limited availability when we don't have that many repossessions hitting right now, even though we know there's a backlog. Storm number three, the reduced new vehicle production and the shortage of used vehicle inventory that will be available. So talking about the shortage of new vehicle production, the chip shortages a couple weeks ago, we predicted that there was going to be 500,000 plus or minus less new vehicles produced within the first 6 months of this year. And that was before the Texas storms. When it hit the refineries, who knew that when the freezing weathers and the pipelines being shut down would impact foam production, which is a byproduct of petroleum. So not enough foam, can't make enough seats, and we have factories having to reallocate productions based on what they do have and shutting down. So the driveway buy, the case in point is in the data. And I'm a big believer in data. I also happen to be an SOB, not what you think it means. I'm an SOB, student of the business. I read and research all kinds of information, and you might think it's not relevant, but when I'm done, I'm able to connect some dots and make sense out of the data points that may not be consistent with the information, but it makes a point. So here, I'm showing you guys the wholesale weekly price index. And I want you to pay attention. You see that circle right there? Last week, we were just below the line. And you see the trajectory. It just exploded over the average. And that is the 2009. And the blue line is our 2019 numbers. And our 2020 is the orangey yellow number, right? So 2020 ended with used vehicles, prices at a very elevated level. But the economic patterns, as we all know, for 2020 have not been consistent, just not normal, not a normal year. And none of the seasons that we're used to experiencing were there. So right now, we're about 7 weeks early. That trajectory represents 7 weeks earlier of the spring season selling. Prices are stronger than they have been, and that's on the vehicle category that is mostly needed by our ultimate end customer. I believe every single one of us in the automotive vertical, we all service the same customer. I'm an acolyte of Dr. Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Begin with the end in mind. The end result is who do we all service? We service the dealer. If the dealer doesn't get the inventory, they can't sell. But right now, wholesale prices skyrocketing. So what does that mean on the retail side of things? So here we have our retail listings update. Last week, again, we were right at the line. So we see a nice corresponding spike, but it's in line with this spike in the wholesale pricing. So when you have wholesale prices increase, but there's not the equal increase in the retail pricing, it's pretty much the same with compressed margins. When you have compressed margins, turn times become absolutely critical for a dealer because the only way they can compensate for larger grosses is turn inventory more. And we know what fits in that space. Transportation. How can transportation do a better job of improving the delivery where it's quicker and more efficient? That's not my gig. That's why we're here with you today, talking to your audience, because someone's going to figure that algorithm out, and they will be the next big superstar. Might be Holly. I love what they talked about, especially when it relates to the onesie, twosie, threesies. That's the other part I've been talking about. That full loads, it's about half the business now. And Ty talks about that. But the market is changing so quickly that in order to fill the dealers' inventories, we need to start doing that onesie, twosie, threesies. And when you talk about the driveway buy, we're not buying one or two cars. We're not buying 2 or 3 vehicles from one customer in the driveway. We're buying one. We need to get that vehicle from that customer's driveway to the auction or to the dealership. Now, I get excited when I see this. Now, most people look at graphs and numbers and they're like, okay, so what is this supposed to mean? What I want to share with everyone here is the data shows the entire market. Not one single segment by itself is blowing the lid. It's the entire market. Volume, right? So in the car segment category, from subcompact cars all the way to near luxury car, significant price increases. In total, the average is probably over $800 increase week over week. Last week was just over 500. Now we're over 800. What's it going to be next week? The next slide, I have a slide to give you an example of what we can expect. But again, we're limited in what's available running through the lanes right now. So where do we find that volume inventory? There's no one who has more inventory than the driveway buy. Look at the truck segments. Again, those are volume segments. We're talking about subcompact crossover all the way to full-size crossover SUVs. And then when you look at the full-size pickup and the small pickup, volume segments. If they're limited in the lane, where do we make up the shortcomings? And in the small truck category, in the full-size truck, last week they were just north of 4. They're over 500 plus right now. Significant increase when you compare the trajectory week over week. Remember, I talked about perfect storm number 2 about the credit. So right now, this is from trades unions on their auto lending, auto finance solutions. We got $1.2 trillion in auto loan debt. Think back to 2009 when the housing market crashed. It was about the same dollar value. Roughly 35% of people are in some form of a moratorium on payments right now. So what does that mean? When we have 84.7 million consumers that have loans, and the estimates are upwards to 35% are in credit challenge. Don't get scared. This is what I think. I always talk about the ingenuity and how brilliant this industry is. Right now, 50% of auto lenders are now using alternative data. Because if you remember, I was talking about how can lenders judge a consumer who is now doing a voluntary repossession because they were forced to because of the pandemic. Otherwise, prior to the pandemic, that customer was a perfect paying customer. Ability, stability, willingness to pay, no problems. They had everything. We can't treat those people as if they are the normal lifetime subprime customer. And I'm going to finish with this. We talk about the K-shaped recovery. This segment right here is the hardest hit in our industry. Think about hospitality, restaurants, travel, entertainment. And they're not bad people in that category. We're talking about professional management, store leaders, regional directors, entrepreneurs who might have owned a dozen or so different retail outlets. And they're in this category now. Those are the people that will benefit from the alternative lending. Because now the lenders are not just looking at how much income do you have, how good have you paid on your credit bills in the past, and how long have you lived where you live. That ability, stability, willingness to pay is now transitioning to, okay, we understand the pandemic has forced a lot of people down. Let's take a look at where you are right now. Let's take a look at some of your behaviors. Let's understand how much money you got in savings, what is in your checking account, what do you have in investments, How well are you making your utility payments? How well do you do rental payments now? Or have you caught up? What do you plan to do? All behavior related conditions, the human factor, the need to improve is what those brilliant companies are looking for. And again, to help those consumers get back into vehicles, they got to get delivered, and we've got to source them from the right location first. So in the middle category, we expect new vehicle sales to stay below 2019 levels for at least 3 years. We predict 14.4 million new vehicle sales this year. And it might be less because of the production output that's happening right now. So what does that mean? Well, in 2020, we didn't have a banner new car year. That also means that in 2022, those vehicles that start to get traded in from 2020 and off-lease vehicles from 2020, there's not that many. So we're gonna have a limited supply of off-lease vehicles and trade-ins just in that category. We're also talking about the moratorium. There's 2.5 million, thereabouts, potential repossessions that are on hold, have been, and may stay that way. It all depends on what happens with the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau and the government. And then number 3, used vehicle inventory levels will remain low. High demand now because, again, going back to the high volume vehicles I just showed you a few slides ago, guess who owns those? They're sitting in customers' driveways. They're sitting in customers' driveways, and those are people who might be in the lower leg of the K-shaped economy who need help and don't realize that the value of their vehicle is worth more now than ever. So now someone like VETTX can call them, creates a relationship, sources that inventory, and sells it to the dealer. So that's my case for the driveway buy, and I'm turning it back over to you guys. I want to give it back to Nick and Jamie. Thank you, gentlemen.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah, let me get my screen. Okay, wow, that's Paul, as always, and it was not lost on the live chat. We love when you're on the show, when you give presentations, great information, and you paint. I saw what's interesting, there's a couple different pictures. One is, right, wholesale meets retail, time, compression of margin. But the other one is that the human look, right? I wrote on my notes, I got new subprime, take notes constantly, don't you? New subprime. What do bankers call this category of folks that were, right, as you mentioned, professionals and are thrown into subprime?
That's right.
And it's fascinating. And so that human element, yeah, because you're not just dealing with the movement of assets, but you're dealing with lives changing, and people need to figure out a way to adjust to the changes. And that lower, when we talk K-shaped, I went to my single shot here. The K-shape, I hear K-shaped recovery, and I'm like, all right, bedtime story. No, this is serious. Like K-shaped recovery, that lower leg in the K are the folks that didn't expect to be there. So, and that brings us to, the topic of consumer driveway inventory. Having said that, Jamie, Nick, where do you want to take us next?
Go ahead, Jamie.
Okay, so you know what? It's been fascinating conversation, and to be honest with you, as far as the transport part of the business, I learned an enormous amount, and thank you so much for inviting us here today. I have to be honest with you. Personally, I've been in the car business for longer than I want to admit. Let's just say a long time. Okay, longer than before I had white hairs on my face. Okay, with that said, a couple of factors are a reality of life. The K-shaped recovery is one thing. The pandemic is another thing. It's an unfortunate, people have had a lot of troubles in their lives. But to be honest with you, we're in the car business. We transport cars. You guys transport cars. We don't transport cars. We help dealers acquire inventory for their lots, right? Part of the deal with as far as acquiring inventory is as far as the auctions go, and let's just lease returns, so on and so forth. Paul did an excellent job explaining some of the hurdles that the dealerships are running into. As a dealership body, one thing you need as far as to make money, you need something to sell. When it's all said and done, you need to have that piece of inventory on your lot. The auctions themselves in general, of course, we don't deal with the manufacturers because that's not our thing. We deal with pre-owned cars. Okay, so with as far as pre-owned cars and auctions themselves, the inventories and the number of vehicles that they're turning on a weekly basis are probably less than a third. So then there's as I was listening to you guys earlier, and the transport conversation was fascinating to me. And to be honest with you, I didn't really understand it, but I get the concept because I've run a dealership. I get it. I buy a car, I need it to come to me like as quick as possible versus in 2-3 weeks because there's not a full load. Yes? Okay, so the more I thought about it, Paul, is I was thinking, okay, so as far as our business goes, all we do is help dealerships nationwide acquire inventory. They're gonna acquire from somebody it's parked in their driveway. They're just trying to sell their car for whatever reason. God willing, it's not because they're having a bad time. They're just trying to sell their car for whatever reason. Okay, with that said, I was thinking, you know what, with some of these trucks, ideally, you have the smaller operators versus the bigger operators. Even if you have the bigger operator, it's probably better to have a full load versus the small load. Yes, especially if you're going to go 2 states over. We have some competitors in our business that basically help dealerships buy cars from auctions 2 states over. One thing they don't understand is unless you're buying a handful or more, that car is not going to show up for weeks at a time because it has to piggyback rides. Am I wrong, Paul? Isn't that how it works?
That's right.
And Jay can validate that.
Yeah, no, that is right. And that
is that 100% accurate?
For the most part, right? You're going to get lucky at times. Unfortunately, when people get lucky, they assume that's the new standard. No,
exactly.
It's lucky.
Exactly. And then you have the Carvana model, right? So where they have the small basically it's a little tow truck, right? Okay, so for lack of a better term, I apologize if I don't know.
Hey, no worries. Single car flatbed.
Thank you for that.
And that's what this is live learning. I love this because I watch.
I don't want to insult anybody. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, I watch dealer conversations and I'm like, okay, so that's what a vehicle is. No, I mean, but we're learning and we're live. It's okay. And it's good.
Okay. So one thing is I want the vehicle to me as quick as possible because in the car business, guess what we do as dealers? We have 0 patience. When I say 0 patience, a little less than that. Okay, that's number one. Okay, the other part is we want to get it there safely without any damage, which makes total sense, right? And at the same time, I think if we were, as far as working as a team to get these cars as patching holes as, hey, I got an 8-car load versus a 10-car load, which is a full truck, and I'm going from Texas to Indiana, for example, like the gentleman was talking about, right? That would make more sense for everybody. Right now, what our company does is help dealerships nationwide acquire inventory from private sellers nationwide. And some of the logistics problem for some of these dealerships is, okay, how do I do it? Like, okay, let's just say I bought, for example, Jay's vehicle, whatever Jay's vehicle is. Now, how do I get it home? And then how long is that going to take? And then when it's all said and done, how much is it going to cost? The crazy part is they can swallow the cost, is swallowing the time's a little harder. And then it's just as far as just how do I get it in a safe manner quickly, I think is the biggest hurdle. And listening to your conversation with the other 2 gentlemen, I wish I had an award for somebody, but I don't.
Well, what's interesting is
nobody told me I need to have an award.
Yeah, right. I know that award's. Here's a secret. I didn't know we were going to do those awards like that, and it was amazing. I loved it. I want you just made me think of stackable APIs. I think Michelle said this. And what I mean is that you just said you've got a solution to get vehicles out of consumers' driveways, and yet you might be left with the question mark, how much does that cost? What's the timing going to be? And now there's an opportunity.
On top of that is how do we facilitate that?
And so there are folks with some of those answers that can then be your stackable API vendor network partner. And it is amazing. That's what's happening in this industry now, is that the good news is you don't have to totally guess like you did in the recent past. Totally Guessing Transport should have been the name of a company in the recent past. That needs to stop.
That could have been an app right there.
Right?
Yes.
And click here to totally guess. So, because I'm wondering, and I'm assuming there's some wondering going on in the live chat. The question is, how do you, or rather, what businesses have you, do you hire, join up with, or just find to help you move those vehicles out of people's driveways nationally? That sounds pretty challenging.
It does sound challenging, but to be honest with you, it's more regional. So, in most cases, you're not going to buy a car from Florida and from California. I guess you could. That happens. We get it. But generally, it could be from the next state over. You could be from California buying a car from Oregon, right, or Nevada, which is only your transport companies, for example. I'm sorry, I forget the gentleman's name. But the big company, they do this.
United Road.
United Road.
United Road. Yeah, no,
United
that's cool.
Road already does this, right? How many times do they have a truck will have 2 spaces on it? Or possibly 3 spaces on it?
But here's what's new, and this is what gets me interested, is that getting cars out of people's driveways, that is not normal. Getting cars at an auction, normal. Bringing cars to a dealer, normal. Getting cars from somebody's driveway, it's not normal.
It sounds crazy, but if you said that to Uber, guess what they're going to tell you? It's the new normal.
Hey, but not only that, but there will be 3 private party transactions for every 1 retail transaction. And I only see that getting greater and greater as time goes on. So it 100% is a challenge that we need to look at, is how can we attack these cars in the driveway and get them back to the dealership, and that's really where VETTX was started out of, is taking over that challenge.
Well, if I remember correctly, when I was talking with Ryan, the concept was born because you guys were getting frustrated. You were looking for a way to source better quality vehicles directly and avoid some of the snafus centered around at the auctions. And VETTX was born, right? Yep. And what you guys got, was it 100 dealers now nationwide?
Yeah.
You got a sizable footprint right now. And you're just planning to grow. And this is the audience that can help you guys do what you need to do.
And right here it is, the bag of donuts. That's somebody in. That's a name in the live chat. Okay, but I had to say it. It's awesome. So the bag of donuts says Carvana is capitalizing on this very concept, right? And that's where we're seeing all kinds of businesses. And here's newsflash. We already know this. It's not just one business that does something. It's many businesses, many different business models. And so here you guys are, and we're talking about transport, but your core competency, your business model isn't transport, but transportation is a component of the function of getting it done.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going
to say, especially with the smaller dealers that are in small towns, how are they going to acquire these vehicles in the big cities? How are they going to facilitate the paperwork and get the cars to their dealership? So that's 100% a challenge that we're facing today. And there's definitely opportunity there.
The neat part is the paperwork process is more like a dealership level. It's just the executing the delivery part, right? I think that's part of the reason I think we're here talking to you, Jay. I've learned an enormous amount. It's amazing. Yes.
Awesome, man.
Okay, it's just a lot of fun to get all this extra information because truthfully, we're not in the transport business. We're learning right from you right now. It's amazing. So thank you for having us on this platform and giving us this opportunity.
You're welcome. Thank you, because that's one of the things going back as a dispatcher. What got me so frustrated was, okay, so you as a company could get hoodwinked by somebody that just found you first. They may have terrible information.
Yeah.
And they may lowball their carriers and all these other things. Well, that's not right. But it was a lack of information shared. So if we can share better information faster, then we can help businesses. What is it, Paul? A rising tide
Raises all ships.
raises all ships. Let's get those ships going.
That's exactly right. And I think going forward, as part of being in the transport business, and I'm sure you've seen some kind of a contraction nationwide, as far as there's only so many cars to move. The new car, the OEM manufacturers are building less cars, or they have been building less cars. There's less cars going through the auction. So the whole concept is shrinking. Now think about where Paul was saying cars from a driveway. It doesn't necessarily have country in an efficient manner to more dealerships. I think is a win-win for everyone. One for the dealers, one for the transport companies, especially the big ones nationwide. And on top of everything, think about the little guys that have 1 or 2 or 3 car hauling operations.
And by the way, we had an internet hiccup. I think we're all okay now. Yep. We had a moment of buffering. So if there's any follow-up needed, otherwise we just keep on, because you know what, we're used to that. The internet buffers. So be it.
It so happens.
It happens. Actually, I think we've only got a few minutes left, and we've already lost somebody. Nick has disappeared.
I'm back.
I'm just kidding.
He was tying his shoe.
You know, being live is the best. It's palpable. And you know, we sit in. How many Zoom meetings have you guys done today? Right?
You don't even want to know.
Right? But were any as palpable as this?
I
don't answer that.
Okay. I got to be honest with you. We stole stuff on the other ones. This one, we just got a whole bunch of information, which is amazing. So it's a win-win. I don't know how to explain that. I don't know how to weigh the options.
I appreciate that. Well, one of my goals, when I say this, and I spread this information, one of my goals is to make sure everybody now knows, because it's March 2021, we all know the history of COVID. So anytime anybody starts to ramp up the president, well, back in January 2020, I'm like, stop. We already know. We're good. And we're buffering. Now we're buffering. No, I'm just kidding. We're not buffering. But I want to thank you guys for being here. Since we're in our final minutes, and there was some stuff in the live chat. I think that what's great is you're helping educate and make people think new things. That's one of the reasons for these types of segments. Between Paul's presentation, between meeting you guys, do you have anything you want to add in these final minutes?
Would you like to add something, Nick? I have an idea.
Go ahead.
Okay, so as far as some of your companies out there on this live chat, thank you for listening to us. Plans is part of the deal as far as the dealership body network. They're trying to come up with new ways to acquire additional inventory. That's why they hire us. We're not a broker. We help them acquire additional inventory. Then it's just a matter of how do I get it home? If I buy a car 3 hours away from me, I can send somebody to go pick up that car, or I can have it transported to me anyways, because the trucks come from the auctions in that general area in my direction anyways. So if that's the case, how do I marry the two people up?
And yeah, thank you. I'm so glad you said that. What cities do you have the largest footprint right now?
Okay, currently we're very heavy in the West Coast. Like if you drive a map, like on the West Coast, on the East Coast, in the Texas area, and in the Denver area, the Colorado area. And then we have a big presence in some of the states that are really sparse. So sparse being Arizona and New Mexico. So some of these dealer bodies, they're just a long ways away from everything. And guess what? I guarantee you have people come driving in that direction and from an auction anyways. And in the most cases, if somebody can potentially patch 1 or 2 more cars on their trucks, their transport trucks, obviously it's a good deal for everybody. That's my guess.
So what we're going to do, because one of the things I heard within that led me that is you need, I won't necessarily say carriers, but facilitators. And so
maybe some kind of a combination. Yes.
Right, exactly, because you're going to need some level of broker, but I don't want to put words in your mouth, but facilitators, I'll leave it at that. So we need to get you in touch with Ty, because Ty runs the networking for ATI while I build the channel and interact and all that stuff. Ty manages the carriers, and I know that he wants to talk to you. So we're going to put you in touch with Ty after the show. But I love that we just talked about that.
Awesome.
Nick,
Thank you so much.
Nick, yeah, and I'm not letting you go just yet. You're not off the hook yet. Nick, what did you want to add?
Well, I think Jamie does a really good job of expressing our needs and wants. So, I don't really have anything else to add there in that regard. Just wanted to thank you for having us on today, Jay. And
Cool.
Paul, thanks for bringing us on as well. So, other than that,
I appreciate it.
As
Paul?
a new partner, I have a commitment to help grow the business because that's important to me and Blackfoot. We want to, we invest in all of our partners, not just in the data services we provide, but in the experiences you're experiencing now. We do a lot more than just data to support our community. Which
is more than I bargained for, because, Paul, I had no idea how much we could help each other, and man, it's amazing. We've only been, Paul, you and I have only really been interacting at this level for like 6 months.
Right, that's right.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yep.
Wow.
I just have I'm sorry, I have to run, but I have little kids. Okay, I have a question. I have a question to pose for Jay and Paul. Can you imagine the opportunity right now going forward, just attacking the private party market? Just think of what the Carvanas and the CarMaxes of the world are doing.
Absolutely.
Right? Just think if you could take an extra piece of that you just don't have. Think about it. It's fun.
And that's what's amazing is nothing gets moved without the carrier. You can have a ton of middlemen, but you still need the carrier.
You need the carrier. Without the carriers, guess what? Everybody's just standing there waiting for something to happen.
That's right. It's just another commercial if you don't have a carrier.
It's the veins that makes the blood pumping. Yes?
That's right. Amen. Great way to leave it. Final words. It's the veins that keep the blood pumping. Guys, thank you so very much. And this was great. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, take care.
Good night, you guys.
Good night.
Bye.
And that meeting is over. I let them go. Wow, that's 2 meetings in one night. 2 meetings, 2 hours, 8-lane hot dogs. What we need to do is, if you don't know the joke about 8-lane hot dogs, it's fine. But at the auction, remember auctions? When you go there and you see cars going through lanes and you're bidding and you get hungry, you want a hot dog, and you're in lane 8. There's a guy selling hot dogs in lane 8. You get the lane 8 hot dogs. I have no idea what that has to do with anything in particular, except it's just so awesome to say hot dogs in lane 8. So guys, I do want to just give a recap. I want to thank Sue at Murphy Auto Transport Services. Thank you for everything that you do. We don't have a show Thursday because we have an amazing panel at the IARA, International Auto Remarketers Alliance virtual conference on Thursday. It's going to be off the hook. If you haven't already gone to IARA.biz, do it. I want to thank Mark Grodicke at SuperFlo Systems. Thank you so much. Are you a car shipping guru? Don't forget to go to Dispatch Center /Ask Larry. Visit superflowsystems.com. Thank you so much, United Road. Jason Walker, Ray Moran, Glenn Moore, Kathy McDaniels, Mark Anderson, and the rest of the United Road crew. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for helping me put together great episode 181 on a Tuesday night. This was really cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do next. Really appreciate it. And I want to thank Paul Machin and Nick and Jamie at VETTX. That was cool. That was a cool segment talking about consumer driveway inventory. Really interesting stuff. And what we're trying to do there is, obviously, United Road Auto Transport, right? That's right, center lane stuff. And then what we try to do is we touch upon these verticals and business models that keep popping up, because consumer driveway inventory not going away. And that's what Paul's statistics are helping you understand, right? That is growing. And people need to sell their vehicles. People need a little extra cash. People are selling stuff. And the dealer can get a better deal by just buying it out of the driveway rather than the auction. How do you like those apples? And I want to thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining me on another Auto Transport Intel Tuesday Nights Live. Wow, we still have a lot of people here. That is really, really cool. Those are amazing numbers to see. And so thank you so much for caring, participating, and joining the live chat. Love it so much. Lane 8 hot dogs for everybody. Thank you guys so much. Tomorrow is DOT compliance. That's at noon. Got an FMCSA question, IRP, IFTA, MC, new authority. You're getting in the business. You got to know how to do it. No proper load weight distribution. Do not be the flip of the week. Join us on DOT compliance. And then, of course, Friday on Cars on the Move with Ty, connecting dealers, auctions, and carriers. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all that you do and your contribution. If you got a question, got an idea, let's do a show, send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. If you missed this show and you made it all the way to the end, leave it in the comments below. Please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. And here comes the car hauler. Peace out, everybody. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon.